She thought they were bug bites, but when she brought her pup to the vet was ashamed of the owner. She had been absolutely sure. All those articles, research, and medical journals pointed to the same thing. She'd researched endlessly and furiously. Yet here she was at the clinic, with the vet giving her a murderous glare and her dog in brutal pain. She waited endlessly as the vet examined her dog, her best friend. She'd never forgive herself if something terrible happened to him. The vet returned with his diagnosis. Her hopeful heart was not prepared because what he said numbed her to the core. Months before this dreadful day, Jane Augustine had a perfect life, a caring husband and 2 beautiful children, a perfect family whom she adored above all else. Even with all this happiness, she sensed an empty void that only one thing could fill: a family pet. She had grown up with dogs and she missed the feeling of coming home to canine kisses. Finally, after convincing her husband, the family decided to adopt a dog from the local shelter. Amongst all the pups in the den, Jane felt a connection with one English Mastiff. It was a feeling she'd only experienced once before, with her family dog who she grew up with. This feeling was rare, and she listened to her heart. The family adopted the Mastiff and named him Pancakes. He was just like his name, warm and sweet, despite having a dark and troubled past. Pancakes was taken into the shelter when he was just a pup, after being found on the side of the road. He'd practically grown up here, knowing nothing but loneliness. All that was about to change, for luck was on his side, because his new mom was the most loving person out there, and Jane knew Pancakes was the perfect addition to their family. Excited about welcoming Pancakes, the family began making the necessary changes. They bought everything a dog could possibly want: toys, dog food, collars, bowls, and a bed. Jane wanted to spoil Pancakes and show him that there was still plenty of kindness and love out in the world. She must have done something right, because Pancakes settled right in and adopted his role with vigor and passion, playing with the children and protecting them. But he shared a precious bond with Jane, who is no doubt his favorite person. He would follow her everywhere from sunrise to sunset, sitting on the edge of her bed or sitting in her office as she worked. Jane and Pancakes were made for each other and are the perfect example of companionship. But, as they say, nothing good lasts forever, and this bond was about to be tested. A couple of months later, while sitting on her bed with Pancakes, Jane noticed a strange appearance on his skin. They were marks of some sort, and although they looked painful, Pancakes seemed unaware. Worried, she began examining the marks and researching for potential causes. After endless effort, Jane arrived at a solid conclusion. The marks must be flea bites. Not wanting her dog to be in any sort of discomfort, she rushed to the pet shop and inquired about medication. The owner arrived to Pancakes with dewormer, flea tablets, and some treats to set Pancakes on the road to recovery. 3 weeks went by, but the marks remained. Jane examined them again, and they seemed to have gotten worse. She decided Pancakes needed medical attention and rushed him to the local vet. What she thought would be a quick trip turned out to be one of the worst days of her life. The vet, startled by the canine's condition, began carefully examining him. He seemed repulsed by Jane and gave her the cold shoulder. The vet said the marks on her dog were not caused by flea bites, but by a very cruel human, specifically by someone with a BB gun, because the marks were caused by pellets. Jane was stunned and assured the vet that she loved her dog like a child and would never hurt him. The doctor understood, but persisted with his theory. Luckily, the pellets hadn't caused much damage except mild trauma. On the drive home, Jane was furious. Who could be so cruel as to torture her dog? Wanting to find the culprit, she stayed home and kept an eye on Pancakes. Her efforts soon paid off. Whilst looking around, her gaze wandered over to her neighbor's garden and landed on a small object lying in the grass, a pellet. Peeking over the fence, she spotted a BB gun lying not too far off. Without a thought, she stormed over to her neighbor's house. She explained the situation and the pain her dog was in, and the neighbors were just as shocked. As the events unfolded, the culprit turned out to be the neighbor's son. He was made to apologize and face the consequences of his actions.